another story. My name is Miss B and I am the creator of this YouTube channel, and I'm also the founder of Miss B Tutoring, MissBTutorMe.com. I'm so excited that you are here today for this story time. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe below so you can get more books with Miss B stories every single week. And also visit me at Books with Miss B, my Instagram page. There you can stop by and say hello and find out more about Books with Miss B and get more book love. So before we get started on this very fall-like story that I think you're gonna love, it's a classic, I want for you, my sweet human sitting right there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I want you to lean in super close, like super close. And I want you to listen to this one very important thing. And that one important thing is that you, right there, are absolutely perfect, just the way you are. Got it? True story. Yes, don't try to be anybody else, just be you. Your fabulous, magical, beautiful, amazing, smart, kind, silly, oh so special self. Because, in case you didn't know, you might know, you are the only person in the universe like you. There's nobody else. And that is pretty special. Love who you are. Miss B loves you like crazy from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so let's get started. Today is a book request, and it is so very fall-like. I'm very excited because all things pumpkin right now. As you can see behind me, I have lots of pumpkins, and my kiddos need pumpkins for their classrooms. They're doing experiments. One is in 3rd grade and one is in 5th grade. So they've been required to bring in pumpkins, which is kind of fun because if you go to the store, sometimes you can buy a bag of gourds, they're called, right? And there's white ones and there's different shaped ones. But I really like this one because it has this very cool stem on it. My goal when I'm pumpkin picking every fall is to find the pumpkin that is kind of quirky, a little funny looking, and one that has a really cool stem. Like the longer the stem and the twistier the stem, the better in my opinion. Those are my favorite. So today's story is about pumpkins, and I'm giving big Books with Miss B love to my friend Fine Feather Life on Instagram. She's reached out several times and made lots of incredible book requests for her kiddos. And so I'm just saying hello to you guys. I love you all. Mwah. Miss B loves you like crazy. Thank you for this request. Okay, sorry it's taken me a little bit of time to read this one. So let's get started. It's called Too Many Pumpkins, and it's written by Linda White, illustrated by Lloyd. There's a kitty cat on the pages, and my little friend Fine Feather Life told me that when she reads this book with her kids, she likes to find all the little details and talk about them, and also find what the kitty's doing in the story. So we can do that together. Every year at springtime, Rebecca Estelle planted just enough seeds in her garden to grow vegetables for the long winter. She planted carrots and beans, tomatoes and peas, corn and rutabagas. That's a fun word to say. Can you say rutabaga? Rutabaga. Good job. She grew a little bit of everything except pumpkins. Rebecca Estelle hated pumpkins. When she was a little girl, money had been scarce. For an entire month, all there had been to eat were pumpkins. Baked pumpkins, steamed pumpkins, boiled pumpkins, stewed pumpkins, mashed pumpkins, rotten pumpkins, breakfast pumpkins, lunch pumpkins, dinner pumpkins. Enough pumpkins. When things finally improved and there was more money to buy food, Rebecca Estelle decided she would never eat pumpkins again, or even look at one. Not ever. And she didn't until one autumn day, after Rebecca Estelle's hair had turned snowy white, she was raking the leaves that fell each fall from her black walnut tree, and her cat, Esmeralda, was scattering them just as quickly. All of a sudden, the pumpkin truck passed by. Oh, she heard it coming, and she knew what it was. It rumbled by at harvest time every year. She turned her back and concentrated on picking up the last fallen leaf. She managed to ignore the truck until, let's look close at this page. See if you can find the kitty. Do you see him? Yeah, right there. And the kitty is playing with the leaves, right? I'm going to fold the book gently. I'm going to show you really close. Right here. Do you see it? And what do you notice about the pumpkin, the harvest truck? Something's fallen out of it. Splat! An enormous pumpkin tumbled off the truck and smashed into the slimy orange smithereens all over the edge of her yard. I'm back here and I get this pumpkin, she yelled, but the driver sped away. You see Esmeralda in the tree. Not a happy camper, is she? Well, I won't touch it, Rebecca Estelle insisted, getting her shovel from the barn. And I won't look at it. And she added, as she shoveled the dirt on top of the pumpkin pieces, I won't think about the pumpkin ever again, she declared. And she didn't until spring. When Rebecca Estelle was admiring the new sprouts in her garden, she noticed Esmeralda playing in some big green leaves growing at the edge of the yard. How curious, she said, going over to inspect them. I didn't plant anything there. Then Rebecca Estelle remembered the pumpkin truck and the slimy pumpkin smithereens. Pumpkins, she cried in disgust. Come out of there, Esmeralda. I will not water those plants. I will not tend them. I will ignore them and they will die. She picked up Esmeralda and stumped inside. But a week later, when Rebecca Estelle peered out her window, she saw that the vines had grown. Can you see her? Esmeralda the kitty? Right there. She's hiding in the crease of the book. Yikes. She tramped to the barn, got her garden tools, and went to work on the pumpkin vine. She cut and dug until not one was left growing. There, now there will be no pumpkins. And she smiled and went back inside. But the next week, when she was weeding the garden, she noticed that the pumpkin vines had grown back. Rebecca Estelle marched inside and snapped the curtain shut. The only thing to do is ignore them. They won't grow if I don't take care of them. She muttered. So rain and shine all spring and summer, she never looked out the front window. She used only the back door and never even glanced toward the vines. Neither did Esmeralda. In the kitchen, busy. There's lots going on there. What's this little cage for? I guess maybe it's over the cheese, it looks like. Keep the flies away from the food if you have the windows open, right? Rebecca Estelle ignored the vines so well that, in time, she forgot why she wasn't using the front door until one autumn day, when she and Esmeralda went to rake the leaves that fell each fall from the black walnut tree in front of the house. You know what she's going to find? Pumpkins! Rebecca Estelle shrieked. Pumpkin vines had twined under the bushes, over the bird bath, through the porch rails, and onto the rocking chair. The entire yard was a sea of plump, round pumpkins. Rebecca Estelle could no longer ignore them. She plopped down on the pumpkin nearest her, putting her hands over her face. Whatever will I do, Esmeralda? She cried. How will I get rid of this many pumpkins? She thought, and her mind went back to all the pumpkins she had eaten as a young girl, when pumpkins were the only food her family had. Can you guess what she might do? I think you might be right. Well, we can't let them stay here, she told Esmeralda. "Some people might need these pumpkins, and I suppose there are folks crazy enough to lack them. We'll give them away." She marched off to her wheelbarrow. Rebecca Estelle struggled to lift the first pumpkin, then the second, then the third. She huffed and she puffed as she wheeled the loaded wheelbarrow into the lane. "I'm too tired to deliver these heavy pumpkins now," Rebecca Estelle grumbled. She mopped her brow with her apron and wondered what to do next. "Perhaps if I make them into pies, they will be easier to deliver. Such a nuisance." I love pumpkin pie. It's one of my favorite pies, and my kiddos love it too, with a little bit of Cool Whip on top. So she went to work. This is making me hungry. She scooped the slimy seeds out of the pumpkins and cut away the shells, and after she boiled the pumpkin meat, she mixed it with eggs, milk, sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves to make rich pies. Then Rebecca Estelle made pumpkin tarts, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cakes, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pudding, pumpkin cookies, and where's the kitty? Oh, Esmeralda, do you see her? She's stretched out on top of a pumpkin. Cats can be so lazy-daisy. Pumpkin dishes spilled out of every cupboard, drawer, and cubbyhole, and the seeds were a mountain in the corner. "Well, that's the first batch," Rebecca Estelle said, dusting her floury hands. "Now to deliver them." She put the wheelbarrow outside the kitchen door, then loaded it with pumpkin treats. When it was full, just the thought of delivering all those pumpkin dishes made Rebecca Estelle tired. "If only people would come get them," she said. Then she had an idea. Rebecca Estelle whirled around and hurried back into the house for a kitchen knife. "This should get people to come," Rebecca Estelle cried. Look at all of that pumpkin everywhere. Does it make you hungry, or do you not like pumpkin? Lots of people don't like pumpkin. That's okay too. She took her knife and sat in the middle of the pumpkin patch. She carved a smiling face on a nice round pumpkin, a scary snaggletooth face on a tall, thin pumpkin, and Boo on a short, squat pumpkin. She was so busy carving pumpkins, she hardly noticed how dark it was getting. When she could no longer see, she went to the shelf on the back porch and got the sack of candles she kept for emergencies. "If this doesn't get people to come here, we'll have to deliver them ourselves," she muttered to Esmeralda. If you carve a pumpkin, that pumpkin is no longer a pumpkin. It becomes a jack-o'-lantern. Which one's your favorite? You have one that's your favorite? There's so many different faces. I always like the ones with the silly smiles. Not too spooky, just right. Rebecca Estelle peered into the darkness for a long time. She didn't see anything. Still, she watched until finally she saw a light, faint at first, then brighter, and then more lights bobbing through the night. "Here they come," she shouted. "Esmeralda, let's heat some apple cider." Can you see the lights in the distance? Young and old, everyone in town came. "Rebecca Estelle, we thought you hated pumpkins," they said. "We saw your jack-o'-lanterns from the end of the road and came for a closer look." "I was hoping you would," said Rebecca Estelle. "Where did you ever find all these pumpkins?" people asked. "I came by them quite by accident," Rebecca Estelle said, smiling. "Would you like some pumpkin pie?" "There's plenty," and she winked at Esmeralda. Everyone enjoyed the pumpkin pie and cider and had a good time. So did Rebecca Estelle. And when they were ready to go home, she made sure each carried a jack-o'-lantern, a bag of seeds for roasting, and a pumpkin treat. Rebecca Estelle gave away everything that reminded her of the pumpkins she had always hated. Until All that remained was a handful of seeds. Those she tucked snugly into her pocket, where they would be safe until planting time next spring. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Too Many Pumpkins. And if you liked it, you can press the like button, subscribe below to get more books with Miss B stories every single week. Also, check out the link below so you can purchase Linda White's Too Many Pumpkins and help support her and just continue to enjoy this fall weather, you guys. I love you like crazy. To my friends, Fine Feather Life and her kiddos, thank you for this book request. I appreciate you. Until next time, I will see you all. Love you like crazy from the bottom of my heart. Bye. Mwah. Hi, my Books with Miss B friends. I have something very important I want you all to know.
Please, always remember this.
Remember that it is always
very, very important to love who you are.
And don't try to be anybody else
But who you are. Because, in case you didn't know, I'm going to tell you.
are without a doubt in my mind